saw you're the one everyone's been talking about.
People talk a lot. Which version did you choose to believe?
I haven't decided yet, but seeing you in person raised a few more doubts.
Doubt is good. It keeps people alive.
Or does it just make them paranoid?
Sometimes those are the same thing.
You know what? There's something about you I really don't like.
Only one thing?
Everything.
Good. Then you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
What does that mean?
You don't have to like me, but sooner or later you'll end up on the same side as me.
You sound pretty sure of that.
I am.
Why?
Because you don't have another option.
Girls, please stop fighting.
Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Once again, we're together in another talking video. Before recording this today, I took some time to look through a few statistics and feedback reports shared by Anonymous. Something important caught my attention. As you know, recently we experimented with a different technical approach and released alternative versions of some of our tracks. What we noticed is that these versions were listened to more eagerly and more intensively compared to the regular versions. For us, this is a very significant indicator. It means that you're not only listening to our music, but you also enjoy seeing us experiment with new ideas. And that is something that truly motivates us. Because of that, I can comfortably say this. We have some very different plans for the future. I can't share the details yet, but I can say that we're moving toward a period where our technical approach will change quite significantly. To put it simply, we're preparing to move to a higher level in terms of instrument quality, instrument modeling, and especially computer-assisted audio processors that emulate the character of real acoustic equipment. The reason for this is that we've recently initiated several new licensing processes. If those go well, we might be able to explain the technical side of it in more detail in the future. But if I had to summarize it in one sentence, it would be this. Everything that exists right now will soon become far more impressive than it currently is. At this point, I also want to briefly mention something about our presentation. In the next album, we might make some changes regarding the vocals. However, there's an important detail I want to emphasize. There is currently no actively planned new album. The reason is very simple. Both I and the team became extremely exhausted during the process of creating the glitch in the machine. We worked very long hours and put in an enormous amount of effort. Right now, we want to take a little time for ourselves. As you can imagine, almost everyone in the team has their own jobs, routines, and responsibilities outside of music. So for a while, we intend to focus on our personal work and get some rest. I hope you'll understand us in this regard, because during the glitch in the machine era, in what could be considered a relatively short period of time for you, we released a total of 16 different songs. 7 of them belonged to the glitch in the machine, 7 were released as part of a timeless story, and 2 were released as singles. That level of production was an extremely intense process. Speaking for myself, during that time I often slept only 2 to 4 hours a day, spending the remaining 20 to 22 hours working. I went through the entire The Glitch in the Machine and A Timeless Story processes with a maximum of 4 hours of sleep per day. I don't want this to be misunderstood. I'm not complaining. I enjoy working. I enjoy producing music. I enjoy creating music together with my team. And I enjoy presenting music to you. But to be honest, I'm really tired. That's why I need a little time. After all, we've already entrusted you with 16 songs that you can listen to for quite a long time. So for a while, I'd like to step back a little and rest. Of course, that doesn't mean we're stepping away from music entirely. We are not planning a complete break. We will continue working. There just won't be active song production for a while. And the reason isn't only exhaustion. The technical infrastructure changes I mentioned earlier are also a very important part of this decision. Because in the production process of the next album, almost all of the tools we use will change. And that means we'll be able to intervene in instruments and sound characteristics with much greater precision and detail during the creative process. As a result, the next album will be noticeably different from everything we've done so far in terms of both quality and sound. As I mentioned earlier, we're also considering some improvements regarding the voice model used for Noah's vocals and Leora's current vocal tone. I want to be clear about something here. We are not dissatisfied with the voices. Our current vocals are professional, clear, and very suitable for progressive metal or rock. However, because we want to move toward a more unique identity, we're evaluating the possibility of making some adjustments to the vocal character. If such a change happens, it will only happen once, and it will never change again afterward. Your feedback on this matter is very important to us. Please, don't hesitate to share your thoughts. If many people say they are satisfied with the current vocals, that will definitely influence our decision. And if a vocal change does happen, you can be sure of this. The result will not be worse than the current vocal character. It will either be at the same level or better. Our only goal here is to create a truly unique identity. To summarize this part, when the next album is released, our sound will be noticeably different from what we've done so far. Until that album arrives, we may release some singles from time to time. But when the next album finally comes out, what you'll hear will be a very different Anonymous. There are also some thoughts about me possibly being involved in the vocals. At the moment, I can't say anything definitive. However, there's a possibility that I might appear as a vocalist or backing vocalist on the next album. If that happens, I will first test my own voice professionally. So far, I've never done a serious studio vocal recording, so I don't know whether there are aspects of my voice that need improvement. If I believe improvement is necessary, I will get training and work on it. But if I don't consider my voice good enough, I won't be involved. If I do consider it good enough, then I will. And if that happens, you will hear it yourselves. But if I ever appear as a vocalist, it would only happen on Anonymous's next album. I'm not planning to use my own vocals in any singles or EPs that might come out before that. Our plans regarding the Glitch in the Machine album are not completely finished either. We're still thinking about a few ideas related to it. For example, there might be another music video. It's not certain, but it's a possibility. If such a video happens, the song will likely be chosen from among the tracks that haven't received a video yet, but are among the most loved and most listened to by listeners. There is also another project we've been thinking about. I can't give details yet, But the idea is this: to perform one of the anonymous songs again without using artificial intelligence, with entirely real musicians. If this happens, it would be a video where real musicians perform an anonymous track from beginning to end. This is something we genuinely want. However, it requires time and effort, so it's not certain whether it will happen in the near future. Finally, there is one more topic that the team especially wanted me to share with you: the Spotify issue. To be completely honest, we've been experiencing some serious problems with Spotify. The main issue is that some of the listens coming from you are being flagged by Spotify as artificial streams, especially during periods when listener traffic increases due to advertising campaigns. Spotify tends to apply a very aggressive filtering system. We researched this and saw that many artists on the internet, on Reddit, and in various forums are experiencing the exact same issue. So this isn't something that only we are dealing with. Still, it's becoming quite frustrating. For example, after a recent advertising campaign on Twitter, the glitch in the machine received about 25,000 listens within 6 to 7 hours. This was entirely real traffic generated by users who clicked the advertisement, visited our artist page, and listened to the songs. Despite that, Spotify removed a significant portion of those listens. We already run advertisements regularly. It's necessary if we want the music to reach more people. But having real listens removed like this devalues both our effort and yours. Because some of you support us in truly incredible ways. For example, when we looked at our SoundCloud statistics, we saw that one listener spent almost 2 full days of a single week listening to Anonymous. That level of support is unbelievable. Seeing part of that effort erased by an algorithm naturally frustrates us as well. I'm not talking about financial gain here. We're not running this project to make money. We're capable of sustaining Anonymous with our own resources. We don't have major financial expectations from Spotify or any other platform. But even so, seeing those listens removed feels like an injustice both to our work and to the time you spend listening. So I want to say this clearly. If this situation continues, we may even consider removing Anonymous from Spotify entirely. Yes, I know Spotify is one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world, but the music world doesn't consist of Spotify alone. There are other platforms, and if necessary, we can continue there. What truly matters to us is you, because you are here, and this project grows with your support. That's all I wanted to say for now. Thank you for listening to us, supporting us, and being with us on this journey.